What kind of phone did you have in 2001? What could it do? What job were you in? What skills were required for you to enter and thrive in your field of interest? Did the job you have exist 15 years ago? My name is Rory Cosil. I was born in 2001. It was a time of major loss for Americans after the attack and loss of life on September 11th. It was what was considered the middle of the tech bubble between 2000 and 2002. I was 2 when Skype debuted in August 2003. I was 3 years old when Facebook went live. I was 8 when Uber was founded. The skills needed today in a tech-driven economy are very different than the ones required 15 years ago.
We've basically gone from an agrarian society to an industrial society to an information society.
The world has changed, but most of the parents of the girls we help in our community don't know how drastically it's changed. They don't know that the jobs many of them are in now may not even exist 5 years from now, or that an increasingly filtered world could further distance them and their children from financial and social opportunities.
The world is changing at exponentially faster speeds, while school is changing at glacial speed. Here's what's going to happen. The world is going to go around us. If we don't get relevant and we don't do things that kids need, right? Not that are easy for us, but the things kids need. Our kids are competing with everyone, and that didn't exist before. So what I worry about is in a time when creativity and invention and innovation are probably more important than any time in human history, we're focusing on standardized tests where kids are learning right answers to problems. We're building middle managers in a time of innovation, people who ask for permission to think.
According to Connecting to Learn, promoting digital equity for America's Hispanic families, produced by the Joan Gans Cooney Center at Sesame Workshop, new technologies have contributed to the new equity gaps between higher and lower income families, and their meaningful participation in a knowledge-based economy is further constrained by limited local efforts to support parents, educators, and other community stakeholders in taking advantage of them. In 2011, 2/3, 66% of Hispanic children were living in low-income families, with half of those families living below the federal poverty line.
Jobs in the future are going to be completely different than what they are today. And unfortunately, I don't think that our young people are prepared for that change and for those jobs. And especially, I don't think that the underprivileged communities are prepared, and on top of that, young women. And so at Centro Mater, we are really looking towards Codella and this new program that we're implementing to try to bridge that gap between what other children with greater means are learning and what the children at our center are learning. And we really believe that if we don't do this for them, they're going to be left behind.
Hi, I'm Maya Salza-Maller. I'm 18 years old, graduating from high school, and will be a part of Harvard's class of 2019. I've been active with Codella, a social impact project teaching coding and entrepreneurial skills to Latina girls between the ages of 8 to 13 for the past year. Codella is helping Centro Mater students, the majority who live under the federal poverty level, to develop skill sets they are not learning at school, so they can grow into globally competitive students and professionals.
Every year we're graduating students that can't find jobs, that don't have the actual tangible skills and the hard skills to take advantage of these opportunities. So organizations like mine, organizations like Codella, other organizations in the community that are on that grassroots level, we're now doing a bottom-up approach to make sure that we're servicing our kids and servicing our adults and servicing our community.
Skills like coding, so they can move from simply consuming technology to producing it.
Young people today have lots of experience and lots of familiarity with interacting with new technologies, but a lot less so of creating with new technologies and expressing themselves with new technologies. It's almost as if they can read but not write with new technologies.
The most sought-after authors in the 21st century will be those that are fluent in the languages technology is created by.
It seems like a gatekeeper for this generation. And my fear is that by the time we figure out how to get kids access to coding at a universal level, it will no longer be the gatekeeper that it is right now. And so I think we need to not only be thinking about how to get kids access to coding, but mechanical engineering, robotics, anything that we can recognize as we look at the economy around us is the future for our children. And it's going to be a gatekeeper for them or a doorway to real opportunity. We need to figure out how to be faster ourselves and how to give them access now.
I'm Beatriz Lopez Ibanez, third generation Centro Mater volunteer and CODEA intern. My grandmother was a full-time mom, but my mom Brenda has been working since she got out of college and raising a family. She's an entrepreneur who grew her business on her own. What skills and resources will Latina leaders need in 5 years? 10 years?
Schools and the way that schools educate girls and educate students in general at very young ages, they're really focused on standard benchmarks. Math, basic math understanding, environmental science, understanding, in Florida, for example, hurricanes and how hurricanes are formed, but they don't connect that to really the skills that kids and girls need to be able to become innovative entrepreneurs. After-school programs like Codella provide those experiences at a very young age so their minds are always thinking that way in the future. So when they walk into their next class in environmental science and learning about hurricanes, they learn about the hurricanes, but they also say, what kind of structures can I make that will withstand it? And that's the difference.
In this era of profound change and lifelong learning, CODEA and Tech Mater are working to create programming to continually provide educational pathways and resources for Latina girls.
What to do if you're a bully. I want to just quickly do 2 slides here.
According to the State of Girls' Unfinished Business from the Girl Scout Research Institute and the Population Reference Bureau, girls in the United States have high interest in STEM careers, but low exposure to STEM fields. If current trends continue, job openings in STEM careers will far outpace the supply of qualified candidates in the United States.
The National Science Foundation and even President Obama predicted that by 2018, there's going to be close to 1 million STEM intensive and STEM related jobs that are opening up in the United States. And without these critical skills that are learned by the student in programming classes and in engineering classes, as well as science and math classes, there's going to be a tremendous void in this country. And unfortunately, the jobs will be exported. There's going to be a major crisis because of that.
We've learned a lot at CODEA. One of the things we learned is that it's hard to find Latina founders in one place, from our local community, throughout the state, and nationally. We thought there has to be a way for young Latinas like us to be inspired to find pathways and resources to help them in one place.
So we are starting the Latina Founders Project to address this issue.
At CODEA, we encourage our students to identify problems in our community and solve them with tech-relevant solutions. Our goal is that every Latina girl should know a Latina leader they want to emulate or be mentored by, no matter where they live.
My role model is my mom, Sofia. She founded her own law firm and is a full-time mom. We want to make sure that no matter where a young Latina lives in America, she will have someone to look up to professionally.
We want all Latina girls to be inspired to be founders.